My name is Parisnicole Payton. I am the president and CEO of the PNP agency. We are a mobile public relations firm who works with sports and entertainment public figures, small businesses, nonprofits. We help them create and customize a plan of action for brand awareness and media exposure. Since 1990, January 1990, so over 25 years. Consistency. A lot of clients are not consistent in the due diligence in building their own brand. I'm not here to make you a star. I'm not here to make you famous. I'm not here to make you rich. I'm only here to be an asset to enhance who you are and what you're trying to become. And a lot of clients do not realize that. They think that we're supposed to do it all and be all. And it's kind of like, well, what are you doing? What have you done already? I like people to come to me with already things in place so I can kind of help them to define it. But some people come to me and they're not even birthed yet. It's like I have to birth them. I have to, help them learn how to walk. And that's a lot of energy. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't have a vision, a lot of clients don't have a vision. And I'm a visionary. I think out of the box. I'm always out of the box. So if the client's vision is not clear, it's going to be hard for me to try to convey their message. It goes both ways. They could know my track record or they could not know my track record. It's just the fact that we as black women, African American women, always get the short of the stick. And that could be because a lot of people have tarnished public relations. And, I'm highly educated. I'm very experienced, very skilled in this industry. But it's kind of like knocking your head up against the wall trying to get someone to pay attention to you. And you could come with all the accolades, all the achievements, all the accomplishments, and they're still looking at you with a side eye. But at the same time, I'm looking at you with a side eye because I'm like, well, what have you accomplished? What have you achieved? Where are your accolades? For an example, I had a client ask me to send over my references, and like I wasn't going to send them over. And I said, sure, I can send you over my letters of recommendations. Here are my testimonies. Here are my, my LinkedIn, recommendations. I need you to send over yours as well. And I didn't get a response. So it's a two-way street with me. You asking for things that I know I can produce, I'm going to ask the same from you. And then that's when you kind of get the backpedaling of them coming to you or second guessing you. So it is a challenge. It's a challenge just because they don't want to see African American women succeed. And I've succeeded in this business the right way. The right way is being authentic. First and foremost, having faith, having God direct you. My career has always been directed by God. I didn't choose sports, sports chose me. So the right way is to do your due diligence, get your education, do your volunteering, do your internships, rub those elbows, shake those hands, be respectful, be professional, be organic, and true to the craft. If you do not have a passion for this industry, you will not succeed. Doesn't matter how many people you know, how many people you work with, it will be very short term if you're not coming with a lot of prosperity, nurturing, and persistency, all of the ingredients that I give my clients. You have to work the industry, but not do the industry, if you know what I mean. So I'm in the industry, but I don't, it's not my livelihood. When I leave my clients or I leave an event, I go home and I'm just Parisnicole, I don't have much of a personal life and, have to be able to separate yourself from all the glitz and the glamour, which is only 15% of the industry, 85% is the hustle. It's not about what I can do for you, it's about what can you do for yourself and how I can be an asset to help you in whatever you're trying to do. In the beginning of my career, I was all over the place. I was trying to work for everybody and just do anything for everybody. And I was hitting a brick wall because everyone is not privileged to be managed by me. So once I defined what my worth is and my value, then I was a little bit more selective on the type of clients that I choose. Now, you're still going to go through some frogs before you get to the prince. However, I can immediately remove myself from that client, which I have. I say no, more no's than yes to clients. So you have to be willing to be okay with that, be firm with that, be strong with your position, and not wanting to be hungry to just work for anybody just because they have a name. I work with some of the biggest NFL players that were worth millions of dollars, but had the nastiest attitude and were very disrespectful and very disregarding to what my position was. And that was not enough for me because I knew God placed me here for a reason, and that was not to be abused and not to be disregarded and disrespected. So I was able to walk away, and they had that attitude like, you know who you walking away from? And I said, yes, I do, but do you know who's walking away from you? You have to be willing to still struggle and be humble within the struggle and realize that the struggle is only temporary, but the on the other side there's a permanent gain, and you will be respected and you will be regarded and you will be valued and people will know your worth. But you have to be strong and you have to stay, if you have to go back to a corporate job, which I have done several times, and I was okay with that because I knew it was temporarily, until I found other clients, multiple clients that was willing to be respectful and be more so of a partner. I don't look at my clients as I work for them, they work for me. I look at it as a partnership. And to define a partnership is two people building a bridge to do great things together. And if my clients don't see me as that, that could be just because they just don't know. Some players get it, some players don't. So the ones that do get it is the ones I kind of, hone in on, gravitate to, and try to cultivate those relationships. I always tell clients, know your story. Fluently know your story. Be proud of your story because everyone has a story. To always be ready for the unexpected. Leave the window of opportunity for someone to throw an ammunition at you. So always be prepared. So if there is something in your background that we need to discuss, we need to discuss it and build a strategy on how you're going to respond and not walk off set or throw a temper tantrum or whatever, but answer the question with respect and high regards that, okay, yes, I was arrested. Take accountability, be responsible, and give a resolution to the problem, not just focus on the problem. In terms of what to wear, I always tell clients to wear earthy colors, that you can never go wrong. Never wear just all black or just all white, and keep your jewelry to a minimum. I used to work for a former Philadelphia Eagle player, and he would have on all his $10 million jewelry, and you would never be able to realize how articulate he was because his jewelry was just blinding you. And I used to say to him, no one cares that you have a $10 million watch on or $10 million chain on. I said, you really need to tone that down for the cameras. You want people to really engage into what you're saying and not engage away, like turn the channel as soon as you come on. So after a while, he was not wearing any of his jewelry. And people were saying he got with Parisnicole. I said, wear earthy colors. So he did that, and that opportunity, he wound up securing a contract with Channel 6 for a long period of time until he left. Nonprofits, some of them don't have their 501c together. They don't have their logo. They don't know how to build sponsorship partnerships. Go out there and ask for the money. A lot of them do not know how to build a proposal for asking for government funding. And what are the particulars and what are the protocols to keep that funding coming in, as well as securing directors and members to keep afloat the nonprofit organizations. Nonprofit organizations will fail within the first 5 years. A lot of people think they will not fail, And that's where that's your number one mistake. You have to be okay with falling, bumping your head, scratching your knees, scraping up your elbows. You're going to fail a couple of times. I have even failed a couple of times. The point is to get back up and realize the mistakes that you made and make sure that you educate yourself, utilize your resources, maximize your opportunities, and go out there and network to turn your network into your net worth. So a lot of nonprofits make a mistake of thinking that everyone cares about their cause when they can't even convey the message of what their cause is. So I always tell them to make sure you define what exactly your cause is and be fluent with it. People will write you a check or do business with people they like. What is your main contribution to business and your main contribution to social change? If you can define that and convey that very clearly, you will never go wrong. You have to tell me what the brand is. What's your vision? And then my job is to bring that vision to reality, bring it to the forefront. Like I have a brand. It's the PNP agency. My name is Parisnicole Payton, so the initials are PNP. But it just doesn't stand just for my name. It stands for prosperity, nurturing, and persistency. The ingredients that I give my clients in serving them. So that's very important to me. When I'm in the process of rebirthing my logo, I went through 3 years of people trying to change the logo. And I didn't ask you to change the logo. I asked you to rebirth it. I know what my vision is. I know what people know me by. When they see me, you want everything across the board to be consistent, from your social media to when they see you live in person. So the first thing I say to someone when they come to me and say, this is my brand and this is who I want to, what I want to be and what I want to do. The first thing I say, let me see what your Instagram looks like. Because if I can't look at your Instagram in the first 30 seconds of the first 3 pictures does not define who you just told me that you say you are, then you're not a brand. You're just a person talking. So if you say you have a nonprofit organization, that's all I should see on your Instagram or your social media is nonprofit organization. I want to know, what is your contribution to business? What is your contribution to social change? What are you being informative? Are you being influential? Are you being engaging? Is it just all about you? Because guess what? It's not all about you. The first thing I tell people on Instagram, be open to share other people's success. It's a lot of publicists that I don't know that I come across on Instagram, or a lot of people that I just see doing the darn thing, that I will share their events on my page one time. If you come to me and say, hey, can you keep, promoting me? There's a fee. But it's my way of saying, I like what you're doing. And you know what? In the future, I want to participate in your next event. So I'm not only sharing their events, I am applauding them, but I'm also building my brand and building partnerships. And you will be surprised how many people will be very receptive and appreciate that. And that will open the doors for many possible opportunities in the future. You can't be just all about yourself. You can't be selfish in the industry. Any business, not just sports and entertainment, but also in corporate America. You have to be willing to share. No, you have to be humble, stay in your lane, know your position, and play your position accordingly. Public relations is not a product. It's a service. Within that service, there is a progression of due diligence and administration. Time is money, money is time. I can never get a refund on time. So I can't wait till you blow up, because I don't know when you're going to blow up. But in the meantime of we working towards you blowing up, I need to get my retainer fee. So I don't charge by the hour. I give my fees is either a flat fee for a short-term contract or it's a retainer fee for a long-term contract. A lot of people think that you're going to work for free, and I will not. So I will refer them to Temple University, who has a public relations chapter. of students who are looking for the opportunity to come up in the public relations or communications industry and need that experience. So I say, listen, you can offer a student a pro bono, give them a 3-month opportunity to work with you, and after that, give them a letter of recommendation to help build their career portfolio, and then you got some free work. Now, you get what you pay for. Some of those students are not as equipped to be as resourceful as someone if you're paying for the service. And then you have to teach them what to do. So I always recommend to get a student within the junior or senior year. They may have a couple internships, volunteering opportunities under their belt. They are part of a couple of organizations where they can tap into those resources to get the things done for you if you're not willing to pay for a independent public relations person or a firm. So there's different options, or you can do it yourself, but you get what you pay for. No, people are always watching you. They may not always like your pictures or comment on your post. They're always watching. People say it all the time. I'm watching in silence. I eliminate all of the distractions. And that could be family members, that could be friends, that could be people that's been in their lives that I come in and say, these are liabilities. So some of the things that I have experienced, especially with NFL players, some of their shortcomings is way over my head. You kind of have to always be ready. I had one client yell at me one time to say to me, you don't know where I come from. You don't know nothing about where I come from. But I can understand if you give me the opportunity to listen. And that's all they want. They just want someone to listen and not judge them. And I'm not here to judge my clients. I advocate for my clients through the wrongs, the rights, and the indifferent. No matter how horrible their situation is, I will advocate for them 100%. That doesn't mean I condone the behavior. It means that I am not judging. I'm just trying to find a solution to the problem and not focus on the problem. So there is a hiring, firing with the PNP agency. One or two I came across, and it was deeper than what I thought, and I was getting too involved in. And the situation was not being rectified with the resources that I was bringing to the table. I did get some other people involved, and it got out of hand. So I was just like, okay, you're not willing to grow out of this situation, so I'm going to remove myself. I wish you the best, and that person is no longer playing in the league. So, I always tell my players that it's not only what you do on the field, it's what you do off the field. It's more important that the organization will make a decision, the team and the organization will make a decision if they want to continue to, work with you. It's not just your brand, but it's also their brand as well. Your brand can affect someone else's brand. And I always tell people, public relations, we build brands, but we can destroy brands as well. So you have to be very careful on who toes you step on and how you push people down when you're climbing on the ladder, because you're going to fall one day. And if you're not kind to people, people will not be kind to you. I always tell my clients, I don't care how bad the media gets, always be gracious. Because one day you're going to call the media and you're going to need them. And you don't want them to hang up the phone. You want them to be like, I'm willing to hear your side of the story. I'm willing to put your side of the story out there first, instead of going through all of the rumor mills. So, yes, I did have a couple of clients that, again, it was above my head. Like I said, every client is not able to be privileged to work with me. And I'm willing to take on any client that's willing to be taken on. But there are rules to the games. There's terms and conditions that you must abide to. And first and foremost, you have to have God and faith. Some of it is a front that I've come to learn. I came across a few, and behind closed doors, I was like, you're a fraud. And I'm a child of God, and I can see that. So I'm going to have to let you go. I kind of got out of the music industry in 2000, and then I converted over to 2000, sports in 2002. I was working with unsigned artists, had a couple of great deals on the table with some major labels in New York, and because of the default on the artists, those deals did not come full circle. So it put a bad taste in my mouth. I felt that my dream was not coming true to work in the entertainment industry. And then I got this sense of calling from God to do sports. And I was like, why? I know nothing about sports. So long story short, I got an internship to work for the Super Bowl 36 in New Orleans. It was the Patriots and the Rams. Patriots won. And I had the opportunity to interview Lloyd Malloy, who played for the Patriots, 4-time Pro Bowler. And did not know who he was. Did not know who Ty Law was, or Leonard Little, who's originally from Philadelphia. Did not know who they were, but I was interviewing them. All I needed was a recorder, asked a question, and they ran with it. Followed up, came home, typed up the story, submitted it to a Philadelphia paper here. They thought a man wrote it. They insulted me. I said, no, I have the pictures right here. I have the recording. They said that we have to publish this. We're going to give you $1,500. Great, cool. Didn't know what to do after that. Started to travel to Miami, ran into Lawyer Malloy in Miami. He said, hey, you're the girl that interviewed me. Can I get a copy of that interview? I said, sure. We exchanged numbers. We kind of hung out, had dinner. Now I know who he was. All these people was coming around him and everything. This is the beginning of me figuring out the sports thing. At that time, I was working for Ed Lover, who was on MTV Raps. They were good friends. I was doing Ed Lover's traveling for NBA All-Star Weekend. Lawyer Malloy was going to the one the following year. He needed someone to help him with his traveling. Ed Lover recommended me. He said, I keep hearing her name. Who is this girl? So Lawyer Malloy calls me. What do you do? And I said, oh, I'm a manager, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, okay, I'm going to hire you as my publicist. And I'm like, and do what? You know, so I took on the opportunity, but I was very naive. I didn't know what was going on. So I was his publicist for like 6 months. In that 6 months, he got let go from the Patriots and got picked up from the Bills. So I didn't understand the transitioning of working for a player in his transitioning of his career. And can I still be as effective working for a client that's not in the same city and state? So that was a learning curve for me. But it opened many doors for me after that, because then I took it really seriously. And then I said, God, why do you have me here? And what is the purpose? And he says, you need to define your advocacy, your mission, and your purpose, and why you're serving these guys. These guys need your direction. And so I took it seriously and started taking some classes and interning and volunteering at all these sports conferences and seminars, and I really just got into it. And after that, it snowballed into me working for Keith Hamilton, who played for the New York Giants. And he had a crisis situation going on that it was new to me. And I didn't know how to, work that out. So I was just like, oh, I don't think I could work for you. But then my lawyer at the time was like, don't run from it. Try to understand it and work with this. I said, well, I got to take some crisis management classes because I don't know what I'm doing. So it was a learning curve. So I became a volunteer for the Super Bowl host committee. I volunteered for them for 10 years. I actually retired a couple years ago, but I continue to work for the Super Bowl gospel celebration. But I get paid to do other events around the Super Bowl. And build up my credibility, my resume, and it just kind of snowballed into me working for other players. I started, traveling a lot, meeting a lot of players that way, not through my website. At the time, it was MySpace. That's how I inquired Sean Andrews from the Philadelphia Eagles. I inquired him through MySpace, met him in Miami, met his brother in Miami who played for the Bengals, who won a championship with the New York Giants. So I was meeting them on a personal level, just really getting to know them and really coming from an organic place. And they picked up on that. And that's how I was getting my clients and just saying, hey, I think you need help in this area. This is how I can help you. These are the results that I can provide for you.